Happy video day, guys. Christina, Brooke here. Today we're going to be doing a Make Up Your Mind. We're going to get realistic. We're going to get realistic with makeup, and we're going to try to find a brand new release in my collection to kind of decide whether I need to pick it up or not. And of course, so you guys can try this at home as well. Today we're tackling the brand new Rare Beauty Eyeshadow Palette. This palette is actually launched right now. It's going to be $29 US. Inside of it is supposed to have 7 shades. They're going to have 3 mattes, 3 metallics, and it's called the Discovery Eyeshadow Palette. If you guys don't know, Rare Beauty is a brand that is owned by Selena Gomez. I love a bunch of their products, especially their complexion products. The eyeshadow palette, it caught my attention. Rare Beauty has a very, very good eye for creating really beautiful products. Everything that they come out with is just really beautiful to the eye. But of course, guys, I love to show you guys product reviews. I love to share with you guys things I'm purchasing, but I do think that it's really important for all of us to sit back sometimes and just be a little bit realistic with our makeup. I have a pretty large collection. I am a YouTuber. I do this and I make money doing this. I am able to purchase a lot of makeup to show you guys without it really affecting me because I do make money doing YouTube. But usually that is not the case with most people. So I do want to kind of sometimes sit back and give you guys a realistic perspective on how you can find certain eyeshadow palettes in your collection before you go out and buy it, to just see if you like the color story. Or sometimes we end up realizing that a palette that we already have in our collection has so many similar shades that maybe we don't even need to pick up the brand new one. So that is what we're doing today. We're tackling Rare Beauty. I have an entire playlist of my Make Up Your Minds. I do them a lot with brand new eyeshadow palette releases. And then at the end of the video, I tell you guys whether I think I should pick it up or not. I do end up picking up the eyeshadow palettes most of the time anyways, just for review purposes, but I do love to share with you guys this entire process. So if you're excited, subscribe, join the channel. Let's get into it. All right, so this palette, so beautifully laid out. I really honestly love it. I think it's just very creative and pretty. It does have like those like half circles, but at the same time, I just think it just looks nice. And I also think since the pans are larger, it doesn't look like it would be annoying. There's something very elegant, pretty, simple about this palette, which I think is perfect for her brand. But like I said, I do have some palettes in my collection that I was searching through. I will tell you guys, I ended up getting a result in this one different than I thought. I really thought that I was going to go one direction, and then I didn't realize how much I should be going the opposite of what I was thinking. So let me go ahead and show you guys my results. These are the results. So if you guys can see, these are my swatches that I found in my collection, and these are the swatches that were released by Rare Beauty. So here's the thing. I found a few palettes that I feel like they have a very similar idea. So this palette, even though very beautiful, and even though I do think that there is some colors in here that are unique, I do think that I was able to find this in my collection. So the first palette that I used was the Tarte Beauty Textured Neutrals. This is a very used palette in this Make Up Your Mind. And then my 2 brand new purchases were 2 of the other palettes I jumped into. The brand new Huda Beauty palettes. I did use the Caramel and the Brown Obsessions to find this new palette. So that's how I was able to come up with the color story, and that's how I was able to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, to see if I even like these colors to begin with, because maybe I don't even like the way that they look together. So let's start off with the first color. This one's going to be a brown, but it does look like it has a little bit like a purpley mauvey hint to it. I saw inside of the new chocolate palette from Huda Beauty, there's this color right up here. It does have a little bit more of like a mauve hint to the chocolate color. So I think it's going to look similar to this color. This is a very pretty color, awesome deepening shade. I love it in the new Huda Beauty palette. I've used it a lot. Today's look is a look that you could probably create if you buy the brand new Rare Beauty one, because I did use the colors that I found here. And to create this look, I did use that color as a deepening shade. So very pretty color. I do like that one. The next one also is another one that I kind of like too. I also jumped into another one of the Huda palettes, and I jumped into this color right down here, which is kind of like an orangey peach. I believe that the one that's going to be inside the new Rare Beauty might be even a little bit more peach than this one. but this is a color I have a lot in my collection. It's a color I actually love. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful color. So I'm happy with this one. The first two colors, I think that they're very pretty, but like I just said, I've been buying these two colors a lot lately, and my first and my last two purchases literally have both of those colors in it. So when we go on to the next one, this is the special shade. I did read somewhere that this was kind of like a dual chrome and it has a little bit of a shift to it. So the images, it appears to be a little bit more pink. And then in some of the images, it kind of looks a little bit more red. So I ended up going with a color that I remember kind of did that to me. Instead of the Tarte Beauty palette, there was this color here up on the top that in the pan, it looks a little bit more pink, but when you swatch it, it actually gives you a little bit of like a reddy hint to it. So it's like a pink red. Doesn't have a switch to it, but it just does give that kind of illusion. It's what I put all over my lids today. My lids, you can see that it's a little bit pink, but in certain lights, it looks a little bit more red. So that's why I went with this color. I think it's gonna be similar to that one. Here's my problem. I don't love this type of color. I don't mind it with the colors that were here before because literally my eye look was created using these three colors right here. I don't mind it with those three colors, but this kind of metallic is one I do not use a lot. I have it in a few different palettes in different forms, and I never grab it. Now, when it comes to metallics, what I usually have to remind myself, metallic is meant to be put all over the lid or as an accent point in the center of a lid. It's not something that you can use to sharpen out outer edges. It's not something you can use as a base tone. So you have to really like the colors of metallics, I feel, because if not, you're just really never gonna grab into them. This is one I do not love. It's not a color I use a lot. Obviously, you might love this color and this might be going in a great direction for you, but for me, I'm like, I don't really like that color. So it kind of like knocks it down. The next one is one that I read that it had glitter in it and it was basically like a glittery, maybe not even a metallic, more of like a glitter. And inside of the Tarte Beauty palette, there is this beautiful glitter up here on the top, which I'm not even going to swatch it right now because I already have it swatched right here and I don't want glitter for days. But if you guys can see, it's a beautiful gold glitter. It's more of a champagne, beautiful glitter that I never, ever, ever use. I never use it. I've got a row of glitters in this Tarte Beauty palette to last me a lifetime because I never use glitters. I only use them as we get closer to the fall or if I'm creating a really cool eye look for these nights out that we have so many of them that I've been going to lately. You know, it's like glitter to me is just like not a useful shade for me because I'm just not using it. And I've got like 100 of them here. So the two kind of like important poppy shades, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like it wasn't, I don't know, it's just, they were kind of like, not right now for me. So then the next one is another very pretty color. Like this is a very typical brown. I did just grab the one in the Tarte Beauty palette. It's a little bit of a deeper, richer brown. It's a nice brown. Even if it went a little bit lighter, there's also this brown that I have in here. I think between the mauve brown and this brown, there is a little bit of a difference, but you're gonna be able to play different looks with them. You know, this one's a little bit on the lighter side, a little bit looks a little bit warmer. It seems to me like this one's a little bit cooler. So you are going in different directions with these mattes. I like that, and I think that they're pretty. It just seems to me like it's kind of like a very easy, solid palette when it comes to color story. It's just like maybe not for every single person. So the next one is interesting because it looks a little bit more peach in some pictures and a little bit more pink in other pictures. I went for the idea that it might be a little bit more peachy, and I grabbed this color that's inside the Tarte Beauty palette because, I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of it, and it kind of reminded me of this color, like almost in certain lights it looked pink, and then in other lights it looked a little bit more peach. This one I'm not sure. This one actually might be more pink than I found in these two palettes. However, I just finished buying two palettes that have like these type of light shades. But, you know, like let's say it did go more pink. I mean, I've got, this is almost kind of similar too, huh? So if it does go more pink, we've got this palette, which I'm gonna talk about this palette in the end, but this palette also gives me some of those like kind of like pinky metallics that we can just go 100% this route if we wanted to, which I will show you guys. And then for the very last color, what I did was jump into this palette right here from Huda Beauty, jumped into this gorgeous color here in the center, and it literally looks like almost the same color. Like when I was swatching this, I was like, oh my God, that's like literally almost the same exact color. And the last color might actually even be a little bit more yellow. I might have given it a little bit of a benefit of the doubt and made it less yellow than it may be. It actually might be more yellow, which is not a positive thing in my mind because I don't want more yellow. So that's how I came up with this color story. But I also want to show you guys how I was able to play with another palette. I used the Tarte palette. So in this swatches that you guys are going to see right now, every single one of the shades is using the Tarte palette except for the center glitter, which is still coming out of the Tarte Beauty. So I was able to even kind of replicate it using that Tarte palette, which would take it more on a pinker side. So if it went more pink, I could use the Tarte palette and that would literally give me almost the same exact looks as using these Huda palettes instead. Honestly guys, after kind of like swatching this, you see I've got all of the different palettes on my hand kind of like playing with the idea. I was looking at it and I'm thinking, this is a pretty color story. I like this color story. I feel like it's a basic color story, things that we may already have. I feel like if you have any of the palettes that I just mentioned to you right now, you might want to look at these and just see, do you use them a lot? Is there a color that's missing from them that's in this new palette that you really need in your life? I just feel like it's a safe palette. So just looking at it, if it wasn't for that center glitter that really like catches your attention, it's a very safe palette with pretty colors in it. I don't really know about Rare Beauty's formula. I have actually not purchased any of her shadow palettes yet because none of them have really drawn me in. I feel like this one, out of all of the ones I have seen so far, looks more brand appropriate. I think it kind of matches her brand and I like that. But for me right now, I like this one. There's just a few tweaks I would have done to it. I probably would not have put that really gold, I wouldn't have put that like goldy yellow at the end because I think it's going to be even more gold than I even found in my collection. And I wouldn't have put like that pinky red either. Colors to me are kind of like pop colors and they might have been put in there just to catch attention, but like things that I use often, they're really not used that often. So I like the palette. It's just really honestly probably just not for me. So I'm gonna make up my mind and say I'm actually not gonna pick this one up. And that shocks me because I had added it to my VIB wish list. Like I was going to pick this up for review because I was like, yeah, why not? You know, getting 20% off of it. Let me just pick it up. But now looking at it, like honestly, they're just not colors that are making me want to buy this as its own palette. I don't feel like it just like brings me to that level. I love the design. I like the way they played with textures to really make this palette beautiful. I think it was very well designed in that aspect. And the price point is decent. The price point is okay, but right now I'm going to be realistic with you guys and say this is not something that I need and I'm definitely not going to pick it up. Let me know down below if you guys did this at home and which palettes you were able to kind of replicate a similar idea to this palette with. Leave it down below so that your friends here on YouTube can kind of get an idea of some other palettes that might look similar. So if you guys don't own any of the palettes that I showed you guys today and this one sparks your interest, I will have it linked down below. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Until the next Make Up Your Mind, I will talk with you guys later. Bye.